Howdy, Texas Granny here. Did y'all know it's already October? You might not realize that if you live around here, since our summer has continued right into what we like to call autumn. But here we are. So I've come by to share some important and wise information with you about the upcoming general election in November. The first thing you should do is make a note of these websites: www.votetexas.gov and the Texas Secretary of State's website, www.sos.texas.gov/elections. The last day to register to vote in the November 4th general election is this Monday, October 7th. It's also the last day to correct your address or update your information. If you've moved, you better get on over to one of those websites and check your voting status. I've been working some voter registration tables at the universities here in the north part of Texas, and I am seeing some mighty unusual things. Some fine folks who are still in the Texas voting system have been finding out their status has been changed to suspended. These are folks who want to and anticipate being able to vote. But suspended status means you may only be allowed to vote with a provisional ballot. Why did this happen, you may ask? And there are several reasons, but the main one is probably because something the elections office sent you by U.S. mail was returned to their office, or you haven't voted in the last few elections. The actual wording in the Secretary of State statute about this is after about 4 years. Now, how convenient is that? Since it's been about 4 years since we had a general election. So some folks feel empowered to scrub our voting list right away. There are other situations that could occur and make the state of Texas unsure if you're still interested in or qualified to vote in Texas. And that hurts their feelings. If this is the case, you should have received a green application from the state of Texas telling you that if you want to stay on the voter roll, then you need to fill out this green application and send it back. Now, if I was you and I got one of those green applications in the mail, I might have thought it was junk mail and just ignored it. If you do have a green application form and you haven't fixed whatever situation caused you to become suspended, you have to do that before this Monday, October 7th. So you best get on it. And I wouldn't trust mailing it this close to the registration cutoff date. If you are a resident of the state of Texas, I'd get myself down to the county elections office and give it to them myself. That should definitely prove to them that you are you and let them know that you plan on making your voice heard this year. In Texas, you must bring a photo ID to the polling site when you vote. This can be a Texas driver's license, an election ID certificate, a personal ID card, or a handgun license, all issued by the Texas Department of Public Safety. You may also use a military ID card or a U.S. citizenship certificate that has your picture on it, or a U.S. passport. While it is not necessary to have your voter registration card with you to early vote in Texas, you'll need it if you wait until Election Day to vote, because it will show you where the precinct you reside in is scheduled to vote. You may vote anywhere in the county where you are registered during early voting, which is October 21st to November 1st this year. In my county, the early voting polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day, except on Sunday, October 27th, when they are open from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. But come Election Day, some counties, like mine, say you must vote in the location assigned to your local voting precinct. So if you show up at the wrong voting location for your precinct, even on election day between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., the state of Texas is unable to let you cast your ballot. Now, Texas is a big state and we have a lot of traffic. So if you can't get enough time to make it to the proper location where it will be legal for you to vote, you will be sadly out of luck this year. Now, if you have a problem securing one of the photo IDs required to vote in the state of Texas, or find out your driver's license has expired past the acceptable 4-year window, there is a solution. You may take certain government documents that show your name and address to the polls. This could even be your voter registration card. It could be a current utility bill, bank statement, government check, paycheck, or a U.S. certified domestic birth certificate, and some foreign birth documents. Just go check those websites and see what can work for you. Then you need to ask the elections officials for a reasonable impediment declaration, or an RID. Now, I know reasonable has very little to do with the voting laws in the state of Texas, but basically it is a form saying there was a good reason you couldn't clear that last hurdle put in place to curtail voting in our great state. If your problem is that your Texas driver's license expired more than 4 years ago and you're not eligible to renew online, then get on the horn and phone the Texas Department of Public Safety and make an appointment to get it renewed. Now, I know that won't be happening anytime soon, but you need to make that appointment. If you're over the age of 70, the 4-year restriction is removed. That means if you took Gramps' car keys and he no longer drives, he can still use his old driver's license to prove to the state of Texas that he is who he is. But for you young'uns under the age of 70, when you fill out your RID at the polling site, just write the date and time of your renewal appointment you made with the Texas Department of Public Safety. That way they'll see you're aware that you have an out-of-date driver's license and are working on the fix. Now, the last day for those of you eligible to apply for a ballot by mail is October 25th. But that is the date the elections office must receive your request by, not the postmark date. Now, the League of Women Voters has published a nonpartisan voters guide that is full of information about a lot of the fine folks running all the way down the Texas ballot. You can find this voters guide on the League of Women Voters of Texas website. This election is important in so many ways, so I'm asking you to talk to your friends and share this information. Take a few minutes to make a voting plan, check your voting status, look at a sample ballot while you're on that website, and find out who is running and who you want to vote for. You've got the power in your pocket with that magic cellular telephone. You have no excuses. So don't let Granny down. See you at the polls.